Hi guys, we're back here again for part 2 of this saga. Last week, in case you missed it, I held a vote for the best Rainbow High doll. And it was fun, it was interesting, it was nice to show some appreciation for some truly great, truly iconic dolls. But this week, it's time to be evil, it's time to be rude, it's time to be nasty. For this one, I did exactly what I did last week. I put out forms and I asked people to submit what, in their opinion, is the worst Rainbow High doll. And just like the last one, I let them submit up to 3 individual dolls. Spin-offs like Pacific Coast High and Shadow High were included. The dolls from the recent rebranding were included, but Junior High and the Littles were not included in the vote because I didn't include them last week, and for this week, honestly, I just thought it made it too easy. The list would probably be just those. And I am going to include one little disclaimer here. I know some of y'all think it's unnecessary to do so, but some people really do need to be told this out loud. There is always a chance that a doll you personally really like, or love, or enjoy ends up in this video. And possibly that would be very upsetting for you. I understand, and I don't judge you for it, but I will say that maybe you just shouldn't watch this video. This video is like the height of unseriousness, and there's nothing wrong with having a different opinion, nothing wrong with loving a doll that a lot of people dislike. It's fine. But if you vehemently disagree with any of the placings on this list, do keep in mind that you cannot be angry at me for it. I did not decide the order, I just tallied up the votes and did way more math than I ever wanted to in my life, and then just, made this video. So for the last video, I got 850 individual responses. For this one, I got 849, so quite close in numbers there. But also adding the ones that gave me 2 or 3 separate answers, that actually accounts for 2,264 total responses, which is exactly 4 more than last week's. So a very good sample size, and also almost completely identical to the last vote. And without further ado, let's see who led in the polls. Here are the top 15 worst Rainbow High dolls, as decided by you guys. First, starting, of course, with number 15, Jet Dawson, who received 30 votes and 1.3% of the total responses. So, I think I did sort of expect to see Jet here on the list. She was, in a way, like Rainbow High's first big, quote-unquote, collector release, and in that sense, I understand she was pretty disappointing for a lot of people, because you look at her and you don't really see where the collector comes in. I also remember her release being like really frustrating because they kept delaying the time she was supposed to drop. I don't know if that factored into people's decisions, but I do think it soured her for a lot of people. Now, personally, I actually do like Jet. Well, I like her first outfit, the one she's packaged in. I've always liked her hair, too. I acknowledge it's not like the most gorgeous look Rainbow High has ever produced, but I like it. That said, I do despise her second look, the gown she comes with. I find it so awkward and unflattering and strangely designed, and of course it's a mermaid gown too, because God forbid there's a collector doll without a mermaid gown. It's also so strange how they packaged Jet too, now that I look at her, with that ugly ass dress right in the middle. Like, that's the centerpiece, that's what you're buying. Really weird decisions all around. So, yeah, I think I do understand why she's here. Number 14, Series 1 Ruby Anderson, who received 31 votes, just one more than Jet did, and 1.36% of the total responses. I will admit that my math for this one might be slightly off, because most people did specify specifically Series 1 Ruby Anderson, but there were also just some votes that said only Ruby Anderson and nothing else, and I had to just kind of assume that that meant Series 1 Ruby, which I think is a fair assumption because, Series 1 of Rainbow High, I can give it its flowers to some extent. Because we would not have any of our favorite dolls without Series 1. Series 1 came and it laid the groundwork for Rainbow High's entire future. It was the foundation. It deserves recognition for that. Unfortunately, the foundation aged very, very poorly, and Ruby Anderson is, I think, probably the best example of that because she really highlights one of the biggest flaws of the first few years of Rainbow High, which was this over-reliance on branding, on recreating designer labels, and Ruby had the honor of sporting Supreme, which even in 2020, by the time these dolls came out, was already on its way to being a really outdated aesthetic. And it's hard for me to find it charming in the way I find, early or mid-2000s clothing charming. Maybe in a few years, it'll loop back around to being endearing, but for now, it's just ugly. Number 13, Diamante, who received 40 votes and 1.76% of the total responses. Okay, I'll admit this one surprised me. I honestly had no idea she was very disliked, at all. I mean, I guess I can kind of see why. To me, she has always looked a little like she disobeyed Willy Wonka's orders and started chewing a piece of experimental gum without his permission. And now that I look at her, I guess I can't really say she has the most exciting look either. I know it's a reference to that one Rihanna outfit. Was it for Coachella? I think it was. A cute look, but maybe it doesn't translate to a fashion doll super well. I think her bodysuit is a very iconic piece of clothing. I feel like I see it all the time, or pieces of it even, in tons of restyles. Do I think she deserves to be on this list? I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I don't feel in my heart that she is definitely one of the worst Rainbow High dolls of all time. But I do think she lacks, I guess, the wow factor that a lot of other dolls do. So I can maybe see why she sticks out in people's minds as a particularly bad doll. Number 12, Maria Garcia, who received one more vote than Dia did, 41 votes and 1.8% of the total responses. It was definitely a close race for some of these, huh? Now, I'm not Mexican, so I don't really want to speak on how well Maria does or does not represent the cultural factor, or what makes her a good or a bad Dia de los Muertos doll. Rather, Maria fails for me for a few other big reasons. One is the fact that, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure Maria is the most expensive collector's edition doll that we ever got with Rainbow High. She was $130 upon release and was just so not worth that price. She wears another mermaid-style gown, just like literally every other single collector's doll. She had a light-up box, which I literally could not care less about, and the skull face paint I felt was just placed very awkwardly, or maybe that just does not mesh with Rainbow High's stylization. So overall, just a big no. It's not even that she's a bad doll necessarily, it's just that she's a thoroughly unimpressive doll. There are Playline Rainbow High dolls that blow her out of the water, and they cost way less than $130. Number 11. So this one was a tie. So in this spot is both Aiden Russell and Kaya Hart, who got 46 votes each and 2.03% of the total responses. Oh, poor Aiden. I honestly don't think he's that awful of a doll. He's just a boy doll, which is a very, very unfortunate thing to be sometimes. That said, I do think his outfit is just very boring, even by boy doll standards, and especially compared to the vast majority of girl dolls. And the way they styled his hair for the doll is kind of diabolical. I'm sorry. And Kaya, she's kind of a similar case to Jet. She wasn't the first collector's doll, but she was the first quote-unquote special edition doll. And where Jet, at least pretended to be a collector's doll, Kaya was literally just a regular everyday Rainbow High doll with a sticker on the box. And I mean, I don't know. Do I dislike Kaya? She's definitely wearing a shade of pink lipstick that can be seen from space for some reason, and her first outfit is, I think, bar none, just one of the most unfortunate looking outfits that Rainbow High has ever put together. Genuinely just such a nonsense outfit, right down to the shoes that don't match even a little bit. Her second outfit is cute though, and honestly, it kind of redeems her doll for me, but I do see why she's on this list. Number 10, entering the top 10 now, Rainbow World Violet Willow, who received 50 votes and 2.2% of the total responses. I'll be real with you, this one is actually maybe top 3 for me, because I think she is not only one of the worst Rainbow High dolls, but also one of the worst fashion dolls ever made just in general. Okay, I already don't like sequins on fashion dolls. We know this. I recognize my bias. But even putting that aside, this is just a hideous, awful outfit, is it not? I did see some people comment that I shouldn't allow the dolls from the rebranding because, the junior high and the littles, it would make the decision too easy. But I kept them in because I do actually see some love for this Rainbow High era. Not a lot, but Rainbow World does have some fans. Not Violet, though. Not Violet. No one likes this doll. I know taste is subjective. I understand that. But this is just ugly. Objectively, undeniably. Number 9. Oh, look at that. Violet's back. Winter Wonderland Violet, who received 54 votes and 2.4% of the total responses. Violet... Oh, Violet, I have tried in the past to defend Violet, and I realize now that it was always going to be a losing battle. The thing with Violet is that I literally cannot tell if the designers of Rainbow High love her or hate her, because she's a very ubiquitous character. She shows up again and again and again, but they continue to put her in the most dreadful outfits. I wonder if MGA just, forces them to put her in lines because they think she sells well, and maybe the designers just resent her so much that they try to sabotage her releases. That's my conspiracy theory, because I just cannot imagine how else she consistently gets the worst dolls. I hate this doll. I'm sorry, I hate this outfit so much. Who in their right mind wears a knee-length skirt made of puffy jacket material? First off, that sounds incredibly uncomfortable. It would be so heavy. Secondly, it just looks bad. It's so ugly. So ugly. There's just literally nothing correct about this doll. Everything is wrong. Everything is bad. Violet, I'm so sorry. You've been forbidden from serving, apparently. Number 8. Rainbow World Amaya Rain, who received 55 votes and 2.4% of the total responses. Now, what did I just say about sequins? This doll just baffles me, I think, because, well, obviously the rebranding took Rainbow High in a different direction, and that's fine for the most part. That's honestly not something I inherently have a problem with. But this doll in particular, they just took too far in the other direction. They just kept going and going until they hit Nordstrom. They went straight to the clearance rack and they said, no, actually, that's still a little too classy for our taste. So they went around to the mall and dug around in the dumpster outside Claire's until they found enough unsold rainbow sequin unicorn backpacks from 2019 to turn into a dress. This doll is just full of bad decisions. Even the way they rooted her hair and arranged all the colors in it, it just looks bad to me. Not to mention oh my god, the yellow-green eyeshadow, the abundance of it in the front corners of her eyes. What were they thinking? Again, nothing here is correct. Number 7. Stella Monroe, who received 57 votes and 2.5% of the total responses. Okay, so I have been a Stella Monroe hater since day one. I have never liked this doll, which was actually pretty shocking to me because if a doll is pink, there's a lot I can forgive about her, but Stella, oh, there's just no saving her. Let's start with the most egregious thing. First off, she's a built-in reference to Marilyn Monroe. The name, the shade of pink, the beauty mark. You already have such a good starting point. The potential to make such a beautiful, gorgeous, glamorous doll. Unfortunately, all those references are just wasted on Stella. Her outfits are so incredibly boring to me. I just don't even really see what they were going for. Her first outfit especially is so bland. It has no personality, no discernible aesthetic or direction. It's just nothing, really. The second outfit, I do kind of like the lacy top and the sheer overshirt, but the skirt. Oh my god, that skirt, probably one of the worst designed pieces in Rainbow High history, and I am being so serious. This is the sort of thing you would see on a dollar store Barbie knockoff. It is such an awful, awful piece of clothing. Number 6, Roxy Grand, who received 88 votes and 3.9% of the total responses. Roxy Grand is kind of like if you took every collector's doll from around this time and just melted them all down like a Sophia Nygaard video. This is what you would get. High ponytail, mermaid dress, fake rhinestones that are supposed to impress me for some reason. Just the collector's doll ideal down to her most bare essentials. And that's what's so bad about Roxy. It's not that she's ugly. She's not. But she is really, really, really boring. And it's just made so much worse by the fact you can tell MGA thought that they ate with this doll. They thought we were going to go crazy for her. But what's crazy is that right before Roxy came out, we got the Rainbow Divas, who were Playline releases and also cost less than she did. And not only did their gowns, their dresses, absolutely blow Roxy out of the water, but they also came with second outfits and tons of accessories. What did Roxy have? A medieval torture device. This doll's release was just so completely out of touch with what consumers wanted and what was expected from Rainbow High in a way that is truly laughable. Number 5. Welcome to the top 5, Karma Nicholls, who received 97 votes and 4.28% of the total responses. Wow, you guys really hated Series 2, huh? I'll admit, I did not see this one coming. I was under the impression that Karma was, decently well-liked, but I guess not. One reason I like Karma is her brown eyes, which is something that continued to be pretty uncommon throughout Rainbow High's life, and I guess it kind of ends there. I don't know, I don't think I dislike Karma necessarily, but I guess I also sort of understand why she would rank so high. For one, she is certainly not the most pleasing shade of green. Even for a neon color scheme, it's kind of harsh. Also, like Stella, her outfits are just kind of boring. And she also has one really, really ugly skirt. I don't hate it as much as I hate Stella's, but that sheer green pleated skirt is just such a bizarre piece of clothing. And everything else is just there, I guess. I don't know, I'm surprised she's so high. I can't really argue against it, but I don't know, I think there are a lot of worse dolls. Number 4, Avery Styles, who received 121 votes and 5.3% of the total responses. Yeah, if there's ever a doll that I fully regret buying, it's Avery. I guess I was just so enamored by the concept of a closet full of clothing pieces that I was distracted from how truly dreadful her doll actually is. I'll just say there's a reason that MGA never ever did wigs again with Rainbow High, and Avery is that reason. Because I have seen people try. I've seen some valiant efforts, but I've just never seen anyone really actually make those wigs look good. No matter what, they're always just gonna be like that. And although it's cool that she comes with a lot of clothes, a lot of the pieces in reality just are not that great, and some of them are actually kind of ugly. If nothing else, I can applaud Avery for taking the plunge and trying out the gimmick first, to let us know to never ever do it again. It was a noble sacrifice. Number 3, our top 3 now, River Kindle, who received 199 votes and 8.7% of the total responses. Another Series 2 doll, our first male doll, too, and also the first doll to make us all collectively go, oh, ugh. First of all, why does he need to wear 3 jackets at once? Secondly, why is he so ugly? Even if this doll was somehow wearing the cutest, most gorgeous, most well-made outfit in fashion doll history, there is truly no saving him. He's so incredibly ugly. And I wish he wasn't, truly. I wish Rainbow High boy dolls didn't look like ravenous little gremlins wearing mascara, but that's just the reality we were served. Number 2, Lyric Lucas, who received 243 votes and 10.7% of the total responses. To put this into perspective, in my last video, I got 2,260 responses. Lyric Lucas was not voted for even once, like not even as a joke, literally 0 votes. In this vote, she got more than 10% of the total responses. The winner of the last vote did not even beat 10%, and Lyric did not even win. I cannot stand Lyric Lucas. I think she is just so ugly. If Miss Lucas has no haters, that means I've died. First off, her hair, every single color that they chose is like literally the worst option. All of them. And they come together to form this awful, muddy mess. 2, her makeup. Literal, actual clown makeup. Not even exaggerating. That's not even a joke. She woke up and decided, consciously, to look like Boo Boo the Fool. And to top it all off, she has the audacity, the nerve, the gall, to wear a nude lip with this outfit, this getup. Just no style, no class, no taste. And now, the moment we've all been waiting for. The dubious honor of being crowned the number 1 worst Rainbow High doll goes to Series 2 Amaya Rain, who received 250 votes and 11% of the total responses. This one too, I had to do some extra math for, because a lot of people did not say Series 2, they would say like blue hair Amaya, and when I added them all up, yeah, she took the crown. By a margin, I should say. Series 2 Amaya, you will always be famous. For all of the wrong reasons. Her makeup is very similar to Lyric's, actually. Which is to say, yeah, awful. The rainbow blend in her hair, not very great to look at. And her outfit is just, God, all kinds of wrong. Sequins again. Amaya, girl, you gotta quit with the sequins. But it's literally just all the worst stuff. Sequins, Supreme reference, a seatbelt for some reason, boring shoes. And her second outfit is a cheerleader uniform, which I understand ties into the web series and the cheerleader line, but thematically it's just a really weird decision to include that as her alternate outfit. With Amaya here, that also means that Crystal and Bella are the only Series 2 dolls not to have made this list, which is crazy. Series 2, something definitely went wrong there. And there you have it, the top 15 worst Rainbow High dolls, as decided on by you guys. And now it's your turn. Tell me if any of your entries made the list. Tell me where they placed. Were there dolls you were surprised to see here? Ones that you were surprised weren't on here? Who would you have selected to be number 1? Whatever's on your mind, let it out down there in the comments. And of course, a huge thank you to everyone who took the time to fill out my form. This video would not have been possible without you guys. Thank you for being so mean and nasty and petty. Whenever you're done with all of that, though, just be sure to like and subscribe for any future Fashion Doll content. Thank you.